Why are Americans so obsessed with their slavery-related history? Because part of the country wants to remember our past and move on to a new country where everyone is equal while learning about the failures that led to such a horrible war. While another part has been brainwashed by Southern textbooks that the Confederacy was the hero and those Union boys were pushing it when they said slavery was bad and quat. The last group don't give a shit and will regurgitate anything they hear. So that's why whenever you about the American Civil War, it's either a horrible war where half the country loved slavery so much that they were willing to destroy the Union, while the other half is, look at those poor Confederates. And look how the loss of slavery ruined those poor Southerns who weren't slaves. It was only a little over 150 years ago. And while that seems like a long time ago to the average human, it is a blink of an eye historically speaking. The brutal war that was fought over slavery still has profound ramifications for this country and will continue to for many years to come. Most people do not understand how violent and devastating that war really was. More Americans died fighting in that war than all other American wars combined. And it's not even close. It's arguably America's most consequential original sin. While America has gone from small agricultural colonies to the economic/cultural/military superpower it is today, the effects of systemically subjugating an entire race of people has grown alongside it. The effects may have transformed through the decades, but they've usually rhymed. It also helps that the US is the third largest country in the world, has the largest economy, a tradition of free speech, and an industrious press. The problems we have here are going to be publicized and digested a lot more loudly than another country who may not have the same global loudspeaker. Is it racist to cosplay as a black character with brown body paint? If I'm white? I personally don't think it's racist because I don't believe coloring yourself black to respectfully portray a character or person you admire is equivalent to blackface, and should therefore be acceptable. Blackface equals theatrical caricature of a black person. Coloring one's skin equals accurate depiction of the person. If this is the intent, then it should be no different than coloring your skin green to be the Hulk. However, far too many in our modern society won't see it that way, and doing so will open you to significant ridicule from such people. Therefore, it would be wise to avoid doing so at this point in time. Bro, you did not just ask this. I'm sorry, I'm almost 100% positive that no one will say whitewashing a character cause cosplaying them and white. People will only say whitewashing a character if you draw them as white or lighter tone, not dressing up as one. Drawing Tiana from Princess and the Frog as a white girl with blue eyes, dressing up as Tiana but not changing her skin tone because everyone will know who you are based on her iconic green dress. You wouldn't need to change your skin to be recognized as them. Edit autocorrect, and pause. As part of the cosplaying group in the US, the standard rule is make a costume. Make it awesome. Don't change your skin color to match, rather make it your own. The exception is if the character's skin color is not in the normal human range like blue. I've seen many awesome cosplays where the cosplayer kept their own gender/skin color and changed the character some so they can better identify as the character without being seen as racist. You can also ask in r/cosplay and people will answer and let you know. What was the worst lie a man has told you and how did you deal with it? My ex came home from work completely sunburnt but maintained he had been at the office all day and hadn't been in the sun. When his sunburn became so obvious that he couldn't deny it any longer, he said he went and played golf instead of going to work. No doubt another lie, because he always played golf and never ever lied about playing before. He knew I would never have an issue with him playing golf, so would have no reason not to tell me that in the first place. Never found out what he got up to that day. A man cheated on me with one of my so-called friend, and before I knew I told him I was worried that they were becoming too closed. He promised and swore to me that he only has eyes on me and he had zero attraction to her. A few weeks later I found out that they both had gotten drunk at our mutual friend's party and hooked up, everything up until sex. When I found out, things got messy, causing me to throw a bottle of water in his face. I would have done the same to the so-called friend, but the second she knew I found out, she went MIA and stopped coming around completely for months. My brother kept deleting games, filed and drawings I've made from our family computer. We've had to share that one computer with 5 people because my parents couldn't afford another computer. So when I've called him out on that, he made me believe that the computer deleted those files automatically by itself. I was like 11 and believed that. But when I got older I believed that he was obviously the one deleting my hours of work on drawings and Sims 2 houses, because he always complained that the computer was slow because I've kept downloading and installing the wrong shit. Fuck him. I want my Sims 2 houses back I've worked hours on. Computers don't magically delete stuff. Ladies, what is one thing that if you had right now would make you feel better? A back rub, and for someone else to take over peeing for me cause the baby is doing somersaults on my bladder and it's hard to keep getting up lol. A reasonable amount of consistent income that could leave supplementary income for the rest of my life, and or a one-time large sum of money that could pay all my bills. Give me supplementary income and more freedom to do things that also involve money. Lol. For the rest of my life. Money for a comfortable retirement. I saw what happened to seniors during COVID that depended on the government for help. It was horrible and sad. Money won't guarantee being treated decently, but it sure will help a lot to reduce the likelihood of being in a crappy facility. It's not something I would like to have, but something I wish I didn't have. Allergies. Sorry I don't know the proper names on English, but all my life I had very bad skin allergies, and it's current summer where I live and it's the worst time of the year for me personally. I'm constantly on crises. Anti-allergics are helpful but not enough sometimes. Like today I can't sleep and stress makes it worse, so it's a vicious cycle. A feeling of love and happiness. Sadly, you can't force it. It's not by going on dates that I will find it. I felt it multiple times. Always at the least accepted times. I felt it for someone in middle school and high school, but I was enough dumb to let it go away. I felt it last week by talking with someone. And the feeling lasted by talking to them through text. I was like I should do that because they wouldn't like someone who doesn't do that and quat. But life is a b/tch and decided to take away this feeling from me. Maybe it was just daydreaming or infatuation. Anyway, I would do anything to feel this again. But not just for 1 week.